I'll ask you a question. What do you think the Muslim community contributes to Luton as a town?
Well, there's a number of generations here of people. There's the original kind of there's a lot of the community that come from the kind of subcontinent. There's them, and now that the kids are growing up, so we're all pretty much integrated into the community, and we contribute as much as anyone else in the work we do, community work. with Muslims and non-Muslims, like this event today, for example, trying to promote awareness and increase communication between us.
What do you think about the Muslim community in relation to other communities?
I think there's quite a lot of Muslims in Luton, so I mean it might even be the majority, kind of majority-minority community, if you see what I mean. I think we contribute as much as anyone else, if not more. Like I said, there's a lot of young people now doing a lot more work to help Luton become a better place.
So what do you think of it as a town?
It's my town. I grew up here. I was born here. I'm responsible for it. I feel responsible for it. It's my town. The people, Muslim and non-Muslim, are my community. So yeah, it's great. Obviously, everyone loves their own town.
What do you think of the perception of Luton from outside?
It's a bit disappointing. I was asked by I think it was BBC the other day about Luton and what they think of us and what other people think, because we always seem to be in the news. But what I said to him was that actually people who have actually been convicted of things in Luton, or names come up and something's actually happened with them, is near to nothing. The name always seems to come up as people passing through or something. But I mean, I work I work in an office and I've never had any problems. People find out you're from Luton, they don't suddenly take 2 steps back.
Okay. So what do you think the future holds for the Muslim community in Luton?
I think it's a very positive future. Like I said, there's a lot more young people, almost second or third generation people, who are standing up to do a lot more work for the community and amongst Muslims and non-Muslims. So I think that people are taking more ownership of the town, of the country, the British Muslim identity, taking that on. I think that's a lot more. It's very important for our future.
What percentage of Luton is Muslim community, would you say?
I'd have to look that up though. I couldn't tell you a percentage offhand. Maybe I don't know, it's about
20,000 maybe? A bit more.
Yeah, it's just 30 or 40,000 I think. Out of how much I don't know.
Okay.
Do that yourself.
Right. Is there any specific issues that you think are issues that have to be addressed today with the Muslim community?
We're affected like everyone else by events happening around the world and in the country, yeah? So things like this Forest Gate thing, I mean it has an impact here as well. You have a different perception towards police and general, we do a lot of work, like the mosque does a lot of work. What you're seeing here is a lot of work towards building relations with councils, communities and police and stuff, and things like that take us 2 steps back almost. Just a simple thing like that really puts us back quite a bit, the amount of work that goes into moving us forward.
This chap was talking a little while to the police and he was highlighting the drug problem. Do you see that as specifically something that is a Muslim problem?
No.
Or is it that Muslims are going to deal with their drug problem differently to anybody else's? Or
you see, it's wrong to say it's a Muslim problem, because if you say about thieves or if there's a lot of theft in a town that's primarily Christians, then we don't say it's a Christian problem. We say it's a problem with those people in that town. So we can say maybe there's a lot of Pakistani youth in this town who do drugs. It's not a Muslim issue though. See what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. But what are the biggest issues in the Muslim community at the moment?
Like I said, things happening around the world affect us more than anything. So the whole thing about the whole this terrorism act thing and people being stopped and searched, almost a bit of discrimination. People with a beard or someone who looks, you can tell is a Muslim from afar. They seem to be, being picked on more than anything, and that causes discomfort, and it's worrying for Muslims here.
How can that be changed?
I think through events like this, awareness. I think if people understood Muslims better, including people in police and general people, there's the perception the media gives are often very skewed as to what it is. I know there is some work going on. A lot of people, maybe like yourself, who are trying to give a more true picture of what Islam is and the way Muslims really are, and how there isn't really that much of a gap between a Muslim and non-Muslim in the way we live and the way we think necessarily.
The community here in Luton, how does it compare in terms of its success in the community with relation to other towns?
Again, I think it's more than recent thing.
Sorry, say that again.
I think it's more of a recent development, as in the youth. And again, it's something, most things you'll find that happen where there are predominantly Muslims in town, you'll find things happen pretty much at a similar time. With Luton, because we are in the news a lot more and there are a lot more youth becoming active, there are a lot more changes happening here, perhaps more than other places. I mean, there's things like East London maybe where there are a lot of Muslims, you'll see a similar change happening and similar views being
But
expressed.
do you think that Muslim community is more or less successful in being able to solve its problems or whatever? Or is it no different to any other town?
I think more could be done. I think we do have.
Right.
I think it's wrong to say there's no problems, and we don't have to address any of them. And
Right.
because there are clearly things that we're unable to solve at the moment on our own. There are organisations like the MCB who are taking like a leading role for Muslims around the country.
Right.
And when things like that come to prominence, I think that will help more people.
Okay. And what about your feelings about the council in Luton and the way they're running the town? What's your attitude with regards to the community? Are you happy with the way that it's all working, or are there things you're not happy with?
Do you mean from like a Muslim perspective, or from someone, a resident in the town?
From a Muslim perspective.
See, it's actually difficult to say.
If you don't want to answer it, just don't say it.
No, I
Doesn't
mean,
matter.
there's nothing. I can't say they've done anything really
Yeah.
positively or anything really negatively.
Right.
They support events and stuff. They do tend to support us.
And there are a lot of Muslim councillors, aren't
That's
there?
right. Yeah.
So you feel that they generally treat the Muslim community in the same sort of level as other communities in the town?
Yeah, I can't say. I don't have any evidence to say there's open
Yeah.
discrimination or anything. I mean,
Yeah.
I can say from a resident's point of view that
Yeah.
I have the same problems everyone else has.
Yeah. No, I'm just asking you that because there might be sort of advantages in the way Luton treats the community that other towns could learn from, or something like that.
Like I said, there's a number of councillors on there that are Muslim, and there are people taking a more active role in the council, even if they're not a member of the council. Working with them and cooperating with them. So I think we're having, and they are taking that on board because they realise there's quite an influential community, and they need to take our views on board.
There's Muslim mayors as well, there's a lot of Muslim mayors.
That's right. Yeah, I think our last two mayors have been Muslim mayors.
With your older generation that you have here in the community, is there a difference? Is there a difference in the way? Is there a difference in the way they perceive the town than the way you do, as a younger Muslim?
I think inevitably there would be, because a lot of our older generation, their hearts are still back home.
Yeah.
Some of them have made the transition across, although, because a lot of them, when they came over, the idea was that the plan was always to go back.
Yeah.
Now with a lot of old generation, they realise that's not going to happen. And with our younger, this is our home, this is our town, this is where we were.
Right.
We belong here. So there is that difference.
Yeah. What about your relations with other communities in Luton?
Again, there are interfaith organisations being set up that they do work. I think that's an area that needs to be worked on perhaps more, reaching out more and trying to do greater work. There is a lot of work within the Muslim community happening amongst each other to educate better, but actually going outside is
We've got Islamic Days today, and plus this event that we have yearly.
Well, just one last question. A day like this, open day, what would you like to think it could achieve?
It's awareness, basically. Openness and awareness. Like I said, people have, perhaps through the media primarily, they have a very different view of Islam. It's very closed, people are a certain way, and that's not the case. It's open door, come in and see what we're like. There's not that much difference between you and I in our morals and the way we think.
Okay, we'll leave it at that.